Hello YouTubers, my name is X Factor, and today we're going to be taking a little bit more of an in-depth look at the two upcoming pistols to Dragon's Teeth. The first one is the Unica 6, which we'll get to in a bit, but first, my all-time favorite pistol of any FPS, the Deagle, aka Deagle, aka Desert Eagle, which is known to be brutally accurate when standing still with a high damage model. Now, all of this can change. We don't know the damage model yet, so let the speculation begin. The animations can change when going ADS or when reloading. The sound of the weapon can change. So it'll be interesting to see how this plays out when Dragon's Teeth gets released. The first thing I've noticed about the Desert Eagle is there is no delay when firing this weapon. Click the mouse, pull the trigger, and the button is away. Now, also of note is the accuracy of this weapon when standing still. Of course, if you start strafing around, you're going to start being penalized for your shots. There's going to be deviation, and it's not going to be as accurate as it could be when going ADS. So very accurate rounds are landing on target. And as you can see, it's got a healthy kick. Now, more importantly, look how that kick settles. And again, this can change. There's a kick, and then it floats down. So you can counter that by just dragging down. So how fast can this shoot? Again, this could change. We're just going to spam this right here. That is a pretty quick way to get rid of 9 rounds. And of course, the reload animation seems to be quicker if you leave at least one left in the mag, and just a little bit longer when it's on an empty mag. And as you can see, it's going to enable that right there, sliding it forward. So just a little bit of an addition of reload time. But this seems extremely accurate. And again, there are no unlocks available for this right now. It is just irons with this. But could this be the one? The question is, if this does not have a delay, if it has a damage model similar to the SW40, Rex, or the Magnum, could this be your new go-to pistol? Last but not least, we have the Unica 6, which is the new 6-shooter revolver in Battlefield 4 Dragon's Teeth. And as of this moment, there is no trigger delay. When I press the fire button, the bullet comes out of the chamber. But that is more than likely going to change. There's a lot of speculation on that, not to mention the Rex and the Magnum have a trigger delay, and the SW40 will be given a trigger delay, I believe, in the next patch. So how accurate is this gun? How fast does it shoot? What's the kick like? So let's take a look at how fast this weapon shoots in the kick. That is pretty fast, and that is a very snazzy speed load reload. Pretty darn cool. Now, this can be pretty accurate, but again, you need to be standing still and not strafing. Now, there's going to notice some settling of this weapon as I missed the 48-meter target here. At the closer ranges, you don't need to worry about it. You can just kind of drop the hammer as quick as you get that, iron back onto them. But at the longer ranges, you're going to want this to settle, and I'll show you why. So at the close range, you could just let them have it without the settle, but right about here, right there, that little wobble, it's not going to be completely accurate. Let's watch that again. And there's a wobble, and then it stops. So until you get that wobble completely out, if you're headshot hunting at range, if somebody's hopping and skipping across the battlefield, you really want to wait. Because if you come up too hot too soon with follow-up rounds, they're not going to go exactly where you want them. And that's what you want a high damage model to do. Something that's got a longer reload, a lower rate of fire. You need those to be dead-on accurate where you think you're aiming, because your life depends on it. If you miss, you're more than likely dead. And here's some 65-meter targets where if I don't let that settle, I'm in a lot of trouble. So if I kind of let that reset, fire before the reset, sometimes you get lucky, but most of the times you most certainly are not going to. Remember, all of this can change. There's more than likely going to be a trigger delay on this revolver to match everything else that's in Battlefield 4. Some of the animations can change, the way you hold it, the way it sounds, and of course, the way it shoots. The damage models as of this moment are all speculation, but you never know what kind of information or what kind of code people are going to find in Battlefield 4 Dragon's Teeth. The question is, what do you think of these new pistols? If the Deagle has no delay, has a high damage model and accuracy when standing still, will that be your go-to pistol, or you are more of a revolver type? I personally like the feel of both of these. It'll be interesting to see what the deviation, the delay is, and of course the damage models once they come out. As always, YouTubers, thanks for watching, thanks for hanging out, and we will see you soon.